guys. We're here with Mr. Philip Moran, our host for the New Heroes Manufactured Creators Unleashed show, and actually part of a new segment, a segmented show that we're going to have here today. It's called Heroes Manufactured Movie Minutes, and Mr. Philip Moran here and myself are actually going to be going through a lot of these new rumored or trending movies that are coming out. And some insight into them and into some of the past movies around them as well. So I'd like to introduce you guys here to Philip Moran, part of the Movie Minutes session. Hey, Philip.
Hi, you're on. It's nice to be here. It's a beautiful day out today, so it's a great time to do this.
Great. Yeah, so I mean, we're going to get right into it here with regards to our first discussion, first topic. Is going to be the new Batman, and something I'd like to show our viewers here. This is the new Batman, Robert Pattinson, who's going to be coming out. We're looking at 2021 from what's rumored right now. But we are going to get kind of into a discussion today about the past Batman movies. And Philip, yeah, I mean, if we can kind of get right into it here. If you don't mind, if I can actually start off some of the questions here, just what's your favorite Batman that you can kind of talk about, something that you've always been a fan as an actor?
Well, for me, it's probably not your favorite, but it's. I always thought Val Kilmer made a really good Batman. It was different. He had the dark side. He had, he played it well. I didn't see enough of him, but from what I saw, I wanted to see more, and I didn't get to see more, but. That was probably my favorite Batman, although they all played very well. In every movie with every character and every villain, they all did a great job.
Oh, of course. You know what? Like, there's the George Clooney as well, and to me, I mean, those were the least favorite of mine, which is interesting because everyone has a favorite, right? And it's not necessarily the actors. I felt like the director, Joel Schumacher, took it to a very modern version of a campy version, which kind of dates back to the 60s show on some level, but I mean, I loved Adam West as the original TV show.
It's like the Happy Days of Batman movies,
Exactly, the Happy Days of Batman movies, and you can see it. I mean, Adam West was amazing. He was incredible. Even the car itself was pretty badass for back then. But then, I mean, where I really enjoyed it, and I mean, you mentioned to me before. Like there were other eras you really liked of Batman, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And which specific ones would you say were highlighted for you?
Well, the Batmans. I mean, every year they keep making better ones, and they keep putting more feeling and drama into Batman's life. He's not just a hero anymore, but he's actually a victim as well, and that's more depth to the movie. And the movies, and also the kind of characters they have that play the villains, like the Jokers.
Oh, of course, and it's interesting because you said Batman is the victim, but I mean, if you look at like the '89 version with Michael Keaton, I think that's where they really explored that, because in the TV show they never really touched on that heavily like they did in the 80s.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And as an actor, he wants to sort of go through that journey as well. Fall in love, or at least the notion of falling in love, and also asking themselves the question, what am I doing this for?
Yeah, there's more of a philosophical discussion. I mean, the one thing with the Michael Keaton versions that I've always loved over the years was, he's just a phenomenal actor overall. I mean, he plays the Vulture in Spider-Man, Homecoming, and then he did Birdman, which was an Oscar-winning film, which kind of plays into some of the superhero life aspect of Michael Keaton, in whether he was in Batman. So that was always a great, version for me. And I mean, I know you've always mentioned to me you've loved the Christian Bale version as well.
Christian Bale has really great movies. Dark Knights were amazing. From the cinematic approach to it, it looked like a really great movie that you want to spend money to go see. And the costumes, from the costumes to the vehicles to the cars to the to all the toys he has, and again, the whole story, the whole plot behind the whole story Batman, is falling as well. He's trying to stay afloat, emotionally, spiritually, and he also wants to fall in love, but does he want to fall in love? And the obstacles. So there's so much.
Yeah, there's more depth in these newer movies, obviously, since the 60s show. There was even there was a black and white movie back even before the 60s show. I mean, I'm assuming it was early 50s or 40s, but it was just like a really dark. It was dark in its own sense actually back then, which is unique. But I mean, I also love Ben Affleck, great Batman, and it's funny because Ben Affleck as a Batman, I feel like it should have been explored more. Again, not crazy about what Zack Snyder did with Batman versus Superman, but I love Batman. I thought he was great. And it's funny that you mentioned Val Kilmer because, you probably could have seen with a better director, a better film overall.
True.
But I did like what he did with Justice League. I didn't hate it like many others did. Batman does look badass in these pictures right here. And to me, like even this new Pattinson, Robert Pattinson. I mean, he's, to me, he looks almost like a young Ben Affleck, and I feel like that may be the direction they're going with here.
Yeah, or sort of like how they did Total Recall. I was very shocked that they went with Colin Farrell for the lead as opposed to someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? And sort of
course,
you get to see how the movement just keeps going in a different direction, and they want to really pick really good, handsome actors, and also not just the brawn but also the brains.
But I mean, and the thing is, and you know what, he actually mentioned recently he's planning not to build a lot of bulk in this movie. He wants to be more like the traditional kind of guy, right? Which is unique. And if you look at these images here, like even the Batman logo doesn't look like your traditional Batman logo. It's got a little, even more of a stealthier look than some of the Dark Knight movies, and it's going to be like a really unique film, I feel. To me, I've always also admired the Jokers. I mean, if you look at like the past Jokers, I know you mentioned this earlier today, but everyone from from Cesar Romero, you got Heath Ledger here. I mean, you've got Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, really great characters for sure.
Yeah, Jared Leto, Joaquin Phoenix, and then Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy, who I like to show this image here of Mr. Kevin Conroy.
Oh yeah,
he is an amazing Batman. He was an absolutely
great voice.
Yeah, phenomenal Batman. Deep voice. He acts and speaks like Batman. When you meet him in person, he's the Bruce Wayne you grew up with. And I've interviewed this guy a few times. Great guy. He is Batman. There's no doubt. And he's done panels with Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is an incredible Joker. So I mean, I'm wondering like if this new movie, who's the villain? Is it going to be Joker? Is it going to be someone else?
We still don't know who the villain is.
I mean, there's not much yet that we really know about it, but I mean, I know you mentioned to me you've read some lines from the director recently. You have a little bit of something there that you.
Yeah, from the director Matt Reeves of the Batman film says this will not be an origin story to the new Batman movie.
Wow.
As stated, he says, I wanted to do not an original tale, but a tale that would acknowledge his origins, in that it formed who he is. What are your thoughts on this actor for that story?
So I mean, with regards to that like I don't know. I mean, sounds interesting and sounds unique to me. I think that definitely it's going to be a unique origin story, but I mean, yeah, who knows what we're going to expect to see from this? I mean, I feel like they're definitely going to have an element of Ben Affleck to it. I feel like that's where they're headed. I could be completely wrong. The one thing, like I actually met Ben Affleck years ago on a movie called Hollywoodland here in Toronto. Great little movie that had Adrian Brody in it. He played George Reeves, the actor who was playing Superman back in the TV series. And I kind of knew right then and there that he would be a great Batman. And to me, I just feel like what they're planning to do with Robert Pattinson here is going to be unique because I feel like they're going to build off of the origin of the Ben Affleck version of Batman. That's honestly what I think. I mean, even the car that they have, they're trying to play in some of the '60s like Batmobile
Wow.
images. If you look at the actual car that they have in some of the photos, I wasn't able to get any of them for today, but yeah, they're absolutely phenomenal. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure the vehicles and all the tools and all the different weapons they have suits the Batman at the particular in the particular movie. So you have Ben Affleck that plays more of a broader Bane Batman, like indestructible. But then you see the great thing about that movie is you see how powerful he is, but he's also how weak he is compared to, say, Superman. You see that distinction, and he fights for something, and he fights for something in his own mind and also physically. He trains really hard, so it's also good to see that kind of Batman sort of be weak and feel weak, and the people.
Well, he's human, right? The thing is, the one big thing that makes him different from all the other superheroes is that Batman, he's still, he, as much as he is a superhero, he's still human. He doesn't have these supernatural powers that everyone else has.
Exactly.
And it makes him more relatable. I definitely find that. But yeah, I mean,
I think with Patterson, they picked a normal looking guy that it's not like you wouldn't meet him and say this guy's scary looking or anything like that. But you dress him up in a suit and you put a nice mask and everything, and he looks good in it, and he looks sleek, and he looks smart. And sort of like it's a different transition to what Batman is usually portrayed as. So it's an interesting take.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's no doubt about that. Now, just going back to some of the Jokers, like who are your favorite Jokers? I mean, did you have any favorites of these?
Well, when it comes to Jokers, I mean, the original one basically set the pattern for the Joker.
You're talking Cesar Romero, right?
Yeah, and everyone sort of puts their own twist to it. They obviously picked people that had some sort of the personality that they had or could carry the legacy that the first Joker sort of brought on the screens.
Of course,
and Jack Nicholson was great.
Yeah, he was
definitely great. It wasn't hard for him to be that great. And I think someone like Heath Ledger really, went over the top and really gave us an incredible Joker that Batman was even afraid of.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I definitely feel that. I feel as you get more into it over the years, the more insane, the more insanity they brought to the character. And the one thing, if you look at kind of like the Jack Nicholson version, he had a touch of like the '60s funness to him, but he also had a good balance of insanity to him, which the way Tim Burton directed those movies was just absolutely phenomenal by doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Nicholson's character and some other ones like that, to me, felt like they were created by the character, by the actor. But when I saw Heath Ledger, I thought, you know what? If you met this guy in the laneway, this is who he can be.
He's not him and even Joaquin Phoenix's performance in the latest Joker movie, absolutely phenomenal. And there's a reason why he won Best Actor this past year. I mean, absolutely incredible actor. And even Heath Ledger, won Best Supporting for that role. That was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, man. You have to sacrifice. You have to put everything on the line. Sometimes just sort of do the best you can, and sometimes a sacrifice and a price to pay for that.
Yeah, and even Jack Nicholson. You look at people. I remember back in the '80s, late '80s, were talking about what an amazing performance it was because it was something out of the ordinary. And I feel like the character Joker is also just one that's definitely worth studying. But I'm definitely thrilled again. Once again with this new Robert Pattinson, I feel like it's going to be a unique version. I'm interested to know more about the story. It seems like the director definitely wants to touch on the origin. Doesn't want to make it an origin story like you said, but it seems like a unique take that we're going to be looking.
His jawbone is sort of the Batman sort of covers from the nose up.
Yeah,
you always see the difference in the Batman's from the jaw, like from the nose down, the shape of the mouth, how wide it is, and stuff like that. And they picked Pattinson. He has a really nice chiseled look, just like almost like RoboCop in a way.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely,
it sort of reminds me of RoboCop. I just picture that, and it's interesting.
For sure. Well, listen, thanks for the movie minutes today, Philip. Look forward to checking this new movie out with Batman whenever that comes out
Me
in,
too.
in 2021. But guys, definitely subscribe to our channel if you want to see more of the movie minutes with Philip and myself. We're happy to have more discussions, and feel free to also message us with any new topics that you want us to check out. But definitely, guys, thanks for checking us out today.
Absolutely, I had a great time, and this is a really nice little time to spend your time. During this challenging time, you tune
For
into
all
our
of us, yeah.
shows. There's so many different professionals and teachers and instructors and experts on this show, and it's just amazing the kind of people that we have on here.
All right.
It's a great educational experience as well.
You take care, Philip. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye for now.